my bladder basically fucking broke open. I pissed my pants.
I love burpees.
Oh, the amount of times our laundry machine blew up and the spinner popped out. Like,
Some of the biggest wieners
I toilets.
Like, this guy doesn't do any chores. He just watches the Kardashians.
I'm gonna do this shit regardless, even if it's with people who I have no idea who they are. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, and listeners from all over, we're gathered here today. I am your host, Nathaniel Hartley. I'm gathered here with my co-hosts, Marco.
Yeah.
And Drake.
Yeah.
And we have our two guests today, Nicholas and Julia.
What's up?
And this is our very first episode of This Raw Life. And our main topic today is going to be our experiences during basic military qualifications. What was it like? What was your first day like?
Okay, so I'm going to keep this really casual since it's our first podcast. But we're going to be talking about our very first day. And I didn't go with my family. I didn't take a bus. I came 2 days later, so it was just me showing up on my own. Didn't know anyone there. They fucking made me throw out all my shit, so I showed up with my bags, and then they made me take everything out, unfold everything, make a mess, and then they're like, okay, you don't actually have any weapons, put it back together, and you're good to go. Went upstairs, hopped in my bed, no bedding, no shit, terrible sleep, fucking first day was not great. Not great at all.
And I was scared shitless, not gonna lie. I showed up, and it was P.O. that was standing there. And I said, hello, sir. And he said, I am not a sir. And get in there and go and turn left, enter that classroom, your COVID test, make sure you're clear, and then go and clear your stuff, make sure you're all good to go. And then we basically sat down in a big lecture hall with a bunch of people that we never met, made sure we had all of our stuff, which a lot of people didn't. Wow. And everybody...
What kind of stuff were you meant to bring?
You had to have your will, you had to have your next of kin, you had to have a lot of different forms, you had to have enough clothing, which a lot of people didn't have enough clothing.
Yeah, civilian clothes for a week.
Yeah, so yeah, a lot of people missed that. I didn't have a hoodie.
The problem was I overpacked. I had too much shit. Dude, I had like dress clothes and shit, so throughout my first week, dude, I was wearing like dress pants, dress shirts, looking really nice.
Yeah,
I completely forgot about.
You're one of those people?
Yeah, but like one of the guys on my platoon had just the full suit blazer, bro. This guy was sweating every day, man.
But then didn't he have to wear that for 7 days?
Yeah, so for 7 days straight he
Or
wore a suit,
5.
and he was like a super tryhard. Like his dad was a chief or something like that, and he was crazy stickler about everything, like the biggest hard ass you'll ever meet. But he was so mentally focused that he couldn't meet with other people. He couldn't really... There was no camaraderie with him, man. It was like, you do it my way or you're wrong. Yeah. And then he went through infantry and didn't really make it.
Cameron, what was it like for you?
Well, my first day was pretty weird because I was one of the only recruits from Quebec in Quebec. So I didn't have to like take a plane or like take a bus. I just drove there with my mom and my dad. And it was pretty weird, like, so the whole ride there, I was so nervous, because I knew I was just gonna, like, disappear for, like, 3 months.
Yeah.
But what was the worst is, like, we all thought we were gonna say goodbye, but when we walked in, we didn't know that, like, my parents weren't allowed to walk in, it was just supposed to be me, so as soon as I walked in...
They, like, stopped your parents?
Yeah, they stopped.
And then you couldn't even, like, say goodbye?
He just turns around and they're
just
walking
keeps walking.
Like,
You
they
can't
even force the back.
That sucks.
I was with my master bombardier. He's like, "Why are you stopping?" And because I brought my bags in, they helped me bring my bags because I had like 3 bags.
Man, they made me run up the stairs, bro.
No, the amount of stuff they made us bring, it was crazy. So I had my mom bringing one of my bags, and my dad was just talking. Then they're like, "All right, you guys are gonna have to go."
Yeah.
So we didn't really get to say goodbye, and my master bombardier.
That was a little bit tough, not gonna lie. Not being able to really say a proper goodbye.
No, I was like, and that was just a terrible start. I'm like, damn, this is...
Yeah, it was definitely very, very nerve-wracking.
I didn't know where I was supposed to go. I was just in a taxi, and they just dropped me off.
Yeah.
Well, did you get a proper goodbye from your family before you?
I did because I took a flight, and that was 2 days later because of the flight, and they knew that, so it was fine. But yeah, I said goodbye.
So with me, I don't know. Like I don't have Cameron's. Like I wasn't from there, so I took an airplane. It was, I guess, a little different for me, like seeing my mom at the gate, and then I'm like waving to her as I turn that corner, and I hop on a plane by myself. But getting to basic the first day, kind of the same thing as Bertucci, get into a small room, unpack all your shit, you're super nervous, and then I'm not even sure who was with me, but the whoever the staff was, they were like, let's see you guys march for the first time. And
that was
the
terrible.
bear marching and the fucking
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so
Okay,
that
so
was-
if
that
you
was
ever hear us
exciting.
talking about bear marching, it's like the opposite of actual marching. You're raising your arm and your leg at the same time. It just looks absurd, but it's hilarious because everyone will make fun of you for it.
Yeah.
Like, it's a massive facility.
And then I honestly completely forgot about that whole go into that auditorium and fill out all that paperwork and shit.
Yeah.
And that, because that was like the entire day.
Yeah, we were there. No, like I looked at my journal and we were literally in there from like I got there around noon because everybody was showing up at different times
Yeah,
during the day. So we were there until like 8 p.m. Right?
Yeah, that's crazy. They told me to come at 3. I get there, the room's already full, so I'm like, am I late? Then they're talking about like, oh, who was here for lunch? Like, wouldn't people were here at lunch? Like, people are like, yeah, I've been here since 11. I'm like, you weren't told to come here at 3? And everyone had a different timing, I guess.
How was your first day?
Julia?
I was scared shitless. I was so scared. Okay, so they told us we had to have like formal, dressy clothes.
Yeah.
Well, so I went and bought my first collared shirt.
Nice.
So I show up, people are wearing hoodies and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Why am I wearing dress pants right now? So yeah, I brought all the wrong stuff. I had a bunch of these really ugly white collared shirts. I felt like a man.
How many girls were in your platoon?
To start off, I think there were 5.
Did you like? Was it scary walking into a room full of dudes and
Hell
like, there's
yeah.
only like 4 girls in
It's
there?
all men. It's intimidating as fuck. Like, you walk in. I thought I was going to be in my glory, honestly. I was like, hell yeah. Going to be
at
in
the same
cute with all
time,
these
you're
guys.
walking into that and you know what you're expecting.
Yeah,
Like,
I thought I did.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be sick. No drama.
Oh,
But then I
sure.
get there.
yeah. No drama. Yeah, imagine that, eh?
It was scary. I don't like being surrounded by that many men. Well, I don't care now, but at the time I was like, fuck this, man. I need a woman. Like,
Yeah. So we all sort of touched base on the culture shock. How long do you think it took for you guys to sort of get over that?
To acclimate?
10 weeks. Whole basic.
The whole BMQ, eh?
Yep.
Yeah.
I was really lucky.
I don't know.
Loved my fire team partner.
That's always good.
So, fire team partner, let's describe that for the crew. So, your fire team partner is sort of like your ride or die. You like, if your fire team partner is not on the ball, then you have to pick up their slack.
Yeah,
You are making sure they're on time. You're making sure they're dressed. You're making sure their uniform looks good. You're making sure they're on top of folding their stuff. They're ironing their kit.
Yeah.
You know, they got everything accounted for. If they are missing something during the day, you're getting shafted and, just as much as them. So,
Yeah, so
if your fire team partner pukes on the floor, you eat that shit so they don't get caught. Like,
Exactly.
everyone's put in pairs. It's someone to help you out. Get used to
Exactly.
military life. Someone to lean on, right?
yeah.
And I absolutely loved the guy. Absolutely loved him. He was my neighbor. But my other neighbor was the worst person I've ever met.
Oh, no.
So on one hand, I had someone I absolutely loved, and then on the other hand, it was someone I couldn't get along with. We fought all the time. Yeah.
Who had a really bad fire team partner?
Oh, let me tell you. No, so when I first get into the auditorium, I sit next to this guy, and I'm just thinking, all right, well, we're all the same. Like, I'm not going to judge anyone. And so already we're talking, and he's like, oh, my brother, he's in the military. He says there's steaks on Thursdays. So we came in on a Thursday, and we were just talking. So he's talking like steaks on Thursday. Then I remember, he's like, oh, I gotta go take a piss. So he goes outside, and you're supposed to march everywhere you go. Like, you can't, like, walk anywhere without marching. You can't go anywhere without marching. So this guy, he just walks out, and he sees a group of, like, just, like, I don't know, they weren't officers, but I think it was, like, a sergeant or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey, buddy. And let me tell you, so you have to talk. If you're like trying to address a superior, you have to call them by the rank. And so it's like Master Corporal, Master Bombardier. So you're not friends with them. You don't call them buddy. So this guy's screaming. He's like, I'm not your buddy. Don't ever fucking talk to me. What do you think you're doing? Get out of my sight. He's like, oh, where's the bathroom? He's like, oh, it's down there. Get out of my sight. And he was just screaming, and I'm like, damn, like, this guy fucked up. I hope, like, I wonder what he's gonna do. And later that day, I learned he's gonna be my fire team partner for the whole time. So like, all right, well, hopefully it's not too bad. But later on, we will find out.
Yeah. So he was everyone in the section. So the sort of structure of the platoon is everyone's broken up into sections. It starts out where, for most cases, you got 4 sections. Each section's got about
12 people.
12 to 15 people. Yeah. And you do everything as a section. So a lot of the time you'll have section challenges. You'll have fire team partner challenges as well. But the big thing was the section challenges. And you have to be a team. You have to learn how to work with whoever you got in your section. And if you have somebody who's not really on the ball, unprepared, kind of lazy, it definitely brings down the section. It takes a toll on everybody because everybody has to pick up the slack in the section. So this fine young gentleman was very adamant on not ironing his clothes or getting prepared for inspections or changing out his stuff out of the dryer or
Anything.
or taking those chips out of his locker during inspection.
Yeah.
And that definitely took a toll on the section as we went along. But I think he lasted till week 5, week 6.
It was right until before Farnham.
It was,
you
yeah.
Of course, before Farnham.
Can I just say we weren't supposed to have chips?
We're supposed to have any food on the floor.
No.
Not have
yeah.
any food, period. And
Why are
this
there
guy decided
chips?
to bring
So-
a family-sized bag of biscuits.
This guy managed, like, I'm pretty impressed. This guy managed to smuggle in food, so somehow he was smart enough to do that. But then he, not only did he not finish all his food, he was saving it for later. He just left it right out in the open for inspection.
Yep.
When, like, our warrant, which was like the second highest person in our platoon,
Two
like,
IC,
the chain of command.
second in command of the platoon. Yeah.
So already, like, it's a pretty, like, it's not just any inspection, it's like a proper inspection, like, it's a serious one. It's not like when you just mess around. And already he's like,
Oh, I didn't know I'm not supposed to have chips.
he's like, getting a bag of chips. I don't want to say
Oh,
his name. But
yeah,
like,
no.
It's
Yeah, that
like,
was
sailor, why the fuck do you have chips out? What is this?
Oh, man.
He's like, oh. He's like, he just didn't say anything. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Someone left a can of alcohol in one of our garbage bags and didn't take it out for inspection. And when our sergeant found that, like, we have personal lockers and you're allowed to, like, they stay locked. So during inspections, they're not going to check it, right? And because they found alcohol, everyone had to open everything. So it was a full inspection on everyone. And, like, all of us had food. All of us had hidden, like, right? Everyone had shit they were hiding.
Everybody has stuff.
And, like, when that happened, bro, oh, man, we all got in shit. We all, after that inspection, man, it was just north doors and north doors and north doors. And
North doors.
North doors is punishment.
You don't want to be at North.
You don't
North doors is extra PT,
My-
extra push-ups.
Yeah.
My first North Door ever, I remember it was like a goddamn movie scene. They were like, Master Corporal push-up. He was like, you know what you have to do for me now. So he marched
Was he
us-
French? Was he French?
Yes, I'm sorry, that was a shame. I'm a newfie, guys. Okay, so they march us to the goddamn North Door. They're like, squat. We all start
it.
squatting.
Just squat.
I swear
Hold
to
it.
fuck, I didn't know I could hold a squat for this long before.
Yeah.
It was pouring down rain. People were my legs gave out. Like, I couldn't stand the fuck up. I fell down on my ass. My pants were soaked. I was on the ground and he was staring at me. I was trying to get up. And I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, my legs are not working. They're not working. I couldn't get off the ground. So, yeah, that was my first North Door experience. I had to get help up. Then when we were marching back to our classroom, I couldn't even, I was walking like I had fucking shit in my pants. Like, it was hard. I was sore. That shit hurt.
But the big thing that I noticed about the North Doors was the mental game that they started playing when you're out there. Especially when they started doing the push-ups. You did 15 push-ups, but what they did was they said, everyone goes up, and not everyone can hold it for 30 seconds straight.
God, no.
So some people started dropping, and because one person dropped, the entire platoon went right back down to 0 push-ups. And then it was up halfway, so it was a half a push-up. And then you go up to 1 push-up, and that's 1. And then after half an hour of going up and down, you got 1 push-up. And you could tell a lot of people after that first push-up were already beat. They already lost the mental game in that. And you could tell who was not prepared because of the mental part of it.
I was
Yeah, like,
surprised.
it's a military ethos where you're like not allowed to make the kids do so many push-ups. So to get around that, it's like if they're only allowed to give us 10 push-ups, they're going to make these push-ups last forever. Last forever, and if you mess up, then you restart, and they can kind of... They're allowed to do that, right? That's their workaround.
What type of punishment PT do we get?
Yes, no's.
Yes,
You guys ever get yes, no's?
What are yes no's?
Our sergeant, infantry sergeant, we'd all lie down, and then you lift your head, and you just go, yes.
Oh,
Yes.
I did that.
You just nod your head.
And then you do like 50 yeses, and then you do 50 no's, and man, they're killer.
I did that.
Wait,
in
They were
farm.
absolutely
I did
terrible.
that for the first time in my life. I didn't know that I couldn't nod my head.
I know. Or like
My-
cherry picking. You guys
Yeah,
do cherry
yeah.
picking? So it's your hands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sucks.
So this was skipping a lot ahead into like when we went to Farnham.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when we had fire drills and everything, we go out and obviously it's a fire drill, so you just get out there as fast as you think. I don't expect us to be out there for half an hour, so I go down in my boxers and a t-shirt. And when I went, it was snowing in Farnham. So,
Yeah.
and then my master bombardier gets us to lie in the snow and do those yes no's. But we did about 300 of them. And it came to the point where, like I said, I couldn't even like lift my head. So he's coming over to me and he's like, Sailor Hubbard, what the fuck are you doing? Lift your head. And I'm like, I am. And he's like, no, you're not. All right, everybody, you're doing 100 more. Thanks to Hubbard. And I'm like, well.
Oh, man.
And I'm already in a new platoon because I got recourse into this platoon. So it was not a great start.
Or like right after finishing North Doors, everyone's done, we're walking inside, and then one guy who ended up getting recourse and then leaving, he was like, alright guys, one more for the Queen.
Don't be a smart ass in basic.
Definitely do not be a smart ass. Do not be a kiss ass. You will get fucking shafted.
Great story for being a kick ass. Remember Gammon?
They were not happy.
Oh, okay. names, talk about that.
No, he's laughing at me.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
knows
yeah.
this one.
Yeah, fair enough. Shoot.
He fucking so we had PT, and when you have PT, obviously it's still like military. Like you have a line up, you have to listen to your instructor, even though they're not your staff. You still have to show them the respect like your staff does. So we're all formed up, and our buddy was about 3 seconds late. And when you're 3 seconds late, you're late. Doesn't matter. So she's like, "Oh, it looks like we're what was it?
Burpees."
She's like, "Oh, we're doing burpees." This guy, smart ass, and he says, I love burpees.
Oh, yeah,
She's
I
like,
remember
oh,
that now.
yeah, you
Oh.
love burpees? Well, maybe
Oh.
you do, but not everybody in your platoon likes it, so we're doing burpees and planks and this and that. Yeah, but...
yeah, you're going to give me 15 planks and then 15 burpees and the planks right after that. That was hilarious. I remember that. And he ate those words so hard after that.
Gammon would always get in trouble in that hallway. I remember another time he was walking by, then for some reason, you're only supposed to salute officers, he just started saluting everyone in our platoon. Then our master corporal saw him, he's like, what the fuck was that? And he just couldn't say anything. He's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He had no excuse.
Don't apologize. Yeah, do not apologize to the instructors. They're going to be like, I don't care.
Yeah.
They're there to play a game. It's a game to them. It shouldn't be a game to you because you have to get used to the military lifestyle. You have to fully embrace it to start. Do not be a tryhard. Do not be a kiss ass, but definitely embrace it and try and see how you change. Focus on learning how to work with others because that was the biggest challenge. So one of the things I found was laundry. That fucking sucked. Because in ours, we only had
Our section fell apart because of laundry.
4 laundry machines on each half. And there was, 60 or 55 people between 8 laundry machines or some shit?
The amount of times our laundry machine blew up and the spinner popped out. We had to put it back together. All of our shit was wet. For the next morning. It was like that every day. It was a race to go to the laundry machines.
Yeah.
I remember this guy, Orr, would always be the first one. He'd sprint up the stairs. he'd be sprinting up the stairs, and I'd be going to like put up my laundry. I thought I was the first one. I didn't even see him get up there.
It's already
And
there. Already
I go
spinning.
get up from the laundry, put him in his
my
tied in. I'm like, man, like, and
That's
he'd always be
the
hogging
thing,
it.
man.
He'd always be hogging
See,
it.
that was the guy who was next to me, the neighbor that I didn't like. Man, and our section was known for being the worst section. We were a terrible section. They had changed fire team partners in section because of us. We were so shit. So we were having problems with our laundry, and we're like, okay, we're gonna have these 3 fire teams this day, the other teams the next day, and we'll
Right.
rotate back and forth like that. And we're like, okay, that could work because it takes the
Seems
whole
like
night.
A good plan.
It takes the whole night to get your laundry done, right? And then he's like, okay, I'll write the names down. I'll be in control of this. I'll make sure it's all good, right? And like this guy doesn't do any chores. He just watches the Kardashians. He doesn't do anything.
That was like our guy. That was
So
like our guy.
he's like, yeah, I'll take care of laundry. I'll make sure it's all good. But every time we get back, he's the first one to throw laundry in, and no one can use it because of him.
Mhm.
And so we started just like stopping laundry and throwing his clothes everywhere because we were mad. Like we started, it got really bad, and then we had to have a talk about it. Big apology. Our staff got involved. It was terrible.
Yeah, no. Our lad, he would show up on the floor. So like normally we'd be done the day around like 4 or 5 o'clock, and then he'd go up onto the floor, and then and all he'd do is he'd just sit down on his phone and not do anything, not help anyone, not iron his clothes, wouldn't make his bed, wouldn't fold it up, wouldn't fold his stuff up, wouldn't
polish
dust his
the
lockers,
boots.
wouldn't do the cleaning stations because you're supposed to do cleaning stations. Everyone in the platoon, if they all do their part in the cleaning stations, 20 minutes, half an hour tops every night.
I had to clean the toilets. Oh my god.
Everybody
Oh,
took a
man.
turn cleaning the toilets.
Man,
You
oh,
actually
you
did a
guys
good
did
job
that?
on that. There
I
was
did it
a,
for like a week solid. Everyone else did like once or twice.
Yo, I learned how to mop like a fucking wizard.
I was sweeping and
Let
mopping.
me tell you.
I was like, all right, guys, I will sweep and
No, but
mop
that's
every day, so
so
that's
you
my
did
job.
sweeping and
let me
mopping?
let me just do that. Yes, in my section.
So that's the thing is
For my
I
section.
had 2 guys who were supposed to sweep and then I had to mop. So like me going to their cubicle and be like, hey guys, I can't do my job until you do your shit. And
Yes.
they're like, yo, wait 20, 30 minutes. I'm like, no, I want to go to bed. So do your shit so I can do my shit.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it was a...
It was tough because like sweeping and mopping was handled between me and another guy basically,
Yeah.
and there's others, but like
So you can do,
can't
like, a tr-
you
like,
can't
he
rely
was
on everyone.
tracking you,
You can't rely on
basically.
everyone, right? So
No,
we're like,
exactly.
okay, me and this one guy, Foubert, we're like, we'll take care of all this. So I'll run and sweep really quick, and you can mop right behind me, and we'll be golden that way.
Yeah.
yeah, so there was, in some instances with some people, we call them shit bumps. That's the general term for them. And other people in the sections would have to pick up the slack of said shit pumps. And that means you're ironing their shirts. You're helping them organize their cubicles. You're helping them make their beds. You're helping them do their laundry because obviously they were not as prepared as some other people to handle that much workload or handle that amount of pressure. And a lot of people were equipped and they were able to handle the load of other people's as well. They were able to lead the sections. They were able to really be an active member in the sections. And being lazy, being on your phone, not cleaning, are not qualities that you want when you're going into BMQ. It's the simple basis of discipline that a lot of people lack that was definitely detrimental to a lot of the sections. And our section, we had a very, very interesting mix. We had 3 girls. We had 3 ladies.
We had like all the girls in our section
Yeah,
for some reason.
yeah, we had all the girls in our section. We had 2-ish shit pumps. 2-ish, Cameron?
One of them was the other girl, right? Or like,
3. Never mind.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had about 3 shit pumps,
Yeah.
and we actually ended up doing pretty good. Like as a section, we stayed on top. We had some people that were really good at ironing, so we'd all give them our shirts to iron, and then some
this
people.
guy was a god at ironing.
Yeah, and some people even preparing for inspections, right? Like there was a last minute hustle where everybody's trying to help out each other.
Yeah, that was the
lace up the boots, polish the parade boots,
Yeah.
organize up the closets, right? Like some people did not have the drive to actually do it themselves, so other people were stepping in. So being a helper, being a giver, and giving your time to other people
is worth it.
It is
And I
absolutely
agree.
worth it.
And one of the coolest things actually on our platoon was one of the guys in my section who was like, he had no direction in life. He didn't know what he wanted to do. He didn't like his parents very much, right? Just he was in a really bad spot, and we had to help him fold. We had to help him put socks on. We had to help him anything you guys would take as common sense.
You think it's funny, but we
helped him with everything,
Yeah.
like
What?
how to march, how to talk, like everything. This guy was so lost, right?
Oh my god.
And we didn't think, no one thought he was going to make it through 2 weeks, right? Within the first week, he was caught with a condom, blowing it up, water balloon. Like this guy this guy.
I do that.
Anytime he got in trouble, it was like normally him, right? And so most of the platoon never liked him, but in 2 section, it was like, we're going to take care of this guy,
Right.
and so we taught him how to do everything, and like slowly but surely. One thing he was good at, he was physical, so he worked out, and that was pretty much it.
But even then on itself, that does help.
But that does help. And so he
Absolutely.
was physical, but like we taught him how to do everything. And like he survived the whole way. He did get 7 swipes eventually. So we went and got a meeting with the
7.
Important people.
Bro, our guy was up to like
important
17.
Yeah, but he had too much. He had too many. He was like,
and but they accepted him. They're like, we're gonna keep you.
Fair.
And he stayed, and like he got the choice award. So you know how you guys picked?
Yeah.
We picked that guy as our choice award because he was the worst in the beginning,
Most improved.
most improved.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
he even got a shake, so he's still in infantry now, and he made it
Oh,
through
cool.
his,
It's probably
his
the boys that I know too.
so he's actually positioned on a platoon now.
That's it.
Yeah, he's the guy that got to shake Justin Trudeau's hand.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
Was
actually
he
sick.
part of
Edmonton.
the infantry platoon that went to the Alberta fires?
I'm not sure if they went to
Do
the
you follow
fires.
him on Instagram
They
or
are all in
anything?
Edmonton, Alberta, but I'm not sure
Yeah.
if they're the ones
Because I
fighting
know
the fires.
the really
our
like,
guys are fighting
physical
fires.
guys went to Alberta. Yeah, like Dream.
Went to Alberta? Or are you saying they
two
weren't
Albertas.
originally
Yeah.
from there?
No, they just
went,
got
they went there
sent
because
there.
there was the fires there in
Yeah,
Alberta.
okay.
So
Like, I don't know if they got
an
deployed,
infantry.
but-
They did. An infantry
Okay.
platoon got deployed to fight the fires.
Oh shit! I'll have to ask them.
Yeah. But going back on like what you guys said about like helping people, this and that. We you are only as strong as your weakest link, but everybody is gonna have problems there.
Definitely.
And
Absolutely.
one
100%.
thing that my mom said to me actually, she's like, everybody's gonna have problems. If you involve yourself with everybody's problems, who are you letting your problems out to? You can't just be absorbing everybody else's problem. You gotta have one source of like letting all this stuff off.
And I
your
definitely
chest.
had outlet guys.
So that's perfect. Like you need to find that 1-2 guys, even if it's resources back home, but you just need to have that one outlet where you can just let all your stress out. Because if you, it's pretty fucking.
There's a lot of love, man.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
a lot of love, and
yeah.
like I love this guy, the guy that we helped, and like who really struggled at the beginning. Like he got really attached to us. Like
Right.
we were like his bigger brothers
Right.
the whole time, and
And see,
absolutely loved us, and
the
like
thing
we
is
loved him
so-
for that. Right?
Yeah. And there's something in the military that it's called a VR, so you voluntarily release yourself from the military. In every platoon, you're going to get a handful of people that just leave because they're not cut out for it, or whatever the reason is. Everybody has their own reason. My first fire team partner, he was there at basic with us for only 2 days.
Really,
Yeah,
2 days.
2 days. He
We had a
left
guy
after-
leave before he got there.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Was that the story where he looked at the doors and he's just like, "Fuck this," and
Yeah.
turned around? Yeah.
And then
some people are just not cut out for it.
So the facility,
But it
that we all did this training at was Canadian Forces Leadership and Recruit School in Saint Jean, Quebec. Saint Jean sur Richelieu.
Right next
Yeah.
to Montreal.
So it's
Right near Montreal. So it's basically this massive mega structure that is like 12 floors high. It's like probably 300 meters across or something like that. Like it's
Kind of
It looks like a
it
huge
looks like a
prison.
massive prison, right? So you walk on base, or you're showing up in your personal vehicle, and you're already shitting your pants. If you've never seen this thing before, you're showing up, you're like, that's where I gotta go. And for some people, that's super intimidating.
that
Very
alone is just
100% understandable though. Like it was a very intimidating structure to be looking at, and like, holy crap, this is where I'm gonna be. This is my home for
and
the
I'm
next
sure
10
everybody
weeks.
has that. Just that little thought of like, fuck, what am I doing
Yeah.
here? And I'm like, do I really need to go through all of this just to get to like where we are today? And
Yeah,
it's just, like, I'm
it's
glad
true.
that we did though.
Definitely.
Because, like,
But like
felt
we
that
had 3-4
background.
guys, and we're just like, we're not VRing no matter what.
Yeah,
we can't
exactly.
turn back.
Yeah.
Lots of guys like they can't go anywhere else, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's this or nothing. And it's like, okay, well, let's help each other out.
Yeah.
Let's make it through. This is gonna be terrible, but let's.
I mean,
let's
with
make
my
it through.
experience, I got recourse. So when I went into that meeting, and they're like, okay, so
Why? Why'd you get recourse?
So I got recourse because of a weapons failure. Week 5, you get your weapons, and you have to do a weapons handling.
Weapons handling test. Yep.
Just to prove that you actually know what you're doing with the rifle. Unfortunately, I did not know how to use the rifle.
It's a tricky thing. So there's a bunch of different tests.
Yeah.
There's like the function test. You gotta. I don't know. I don't really want to go into too much detail about it because I'm pretty sure that breaches confidentiality. But
Sure, yeah.
there's definitely
There's a lot of drills with
exactly.
the weapon,
It's
that I couldn't get it into my head. Went to do the test, failed a couple times. So if you fail a few times, then you get recourse, which means you get pulled off of your platoon that you've been with the entire time,
Yeah.
and you get shafted. You get put on a new platoon. So what they told me is, I was on week 7. And they're like, okay, well, either we can recourse you to week 7, or we can recourse you all the way back to week 0. How would you feel about that?
Awful.
And I'm like, I would feel like shit.
It's like
but
all the work you just put in was
just
for naught.
reset it all over again. But at the end of the day, when it comes to that mental drive, I'm like, fuck it, I'm already here.
What are
I
you
got no
gonna
other
do?
option.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this shit regardless, even if it's with people who I have no idea who they are.
You don't want to quit, right?
No, exactly.
But
That's
then
how we all started week 0.
We've
so-
all been quitting our whole life, and then you end up at basic, and
And you're
it's
like,
like,
fuck, now it's something that I can drive toward and
yeah, it's
get
like-
that piece of paper to say I graduated.
exactly.
Now
So-
we're here talking about it. So
And it was, we talked a lot of shit about basic, but
it was
I
fun.
was very fond of it.
I thought it was really fun. It was
Yeah.
definitely brought everyone down to the same level. Everyone like we said, everyone had their own struggles.
yeah,
But what were some of the biggest wieners? Not wieners, but like
Whoa.
what I mean that I say that is like
What do you mean by that?
the biggest thing that filtered out people, right? The
Oh.
milestones. So the force test, right?
Holy
The main
yeah.
physical test for the military is a
Just
force test, and what it
basic.
is you can find this information online without a problem. There's 20-meter sprints, so sort of it's like
The
ups and
shuttle
downs.
run.
The shuttle run. I forget what it was actually called. So yeah, so you basically run 10 meters, drop down onto your stomach, bring your hands and feet up off the ground, and then you get up, go to the next 10-meter line, drop down, again hands up, feet up, and then you turn around 180, go back to that same line, drop down on your hands and feet, and then you go back, and that's one. And you only do 2 of them. So normally some like 30 seconds is a really good time, and that's pretty well like more than ample amount of time for a lot of people. The second one was the sandbag lift. So you're basically, the reason you do it is because a lot of the time military will help out with disaster relief, and all you do is lift sandbags and like help build barricades and stuff. So that's why they implement that part into the force test. It's a 30-pound sandbag, I'm pretty sure, and you lift it 1 meter off the ground, and then you side shuffle and you lift another 1 meter off the ground, and you just touch it against the wall and drop it, and you just back and forth. I think it's 30 times.
Yeah.
And a minute. Actually, I'm pretty sure. How long do you have for that? Anyone remember?
You get quite a
You
lot
have
of
a-
time
You have
for that
so
one.
much.
Oh, you have so much time.
Yeah.
You could do it like
You could walk all
Exactly,
of these and you could
exactly.
pass with flying
Besides the
colors.
shuttle runs.
yeah. The
Yeah,
last
no,
one.
we lost.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was the next
to
one.
the
That was the
shuttle
next
run.
one. So the shuttle runs is again a 30-pound sandbag. Again, you toss it up on your shoulder. You walk 20 meters.
That's a farmer carrier.
Yeah. You toss it up on your shoulder, either shoulder. Your farmer's carrying it. You're walking 20 meters, loop around the cone, walk back, and then you sprint back and forth, and that's one. And you do 5 of those. And then the last one is a 170-pound dummy carry. And you're literally just, 14 meters? 20 meters? Is it 20 meters? I don't think it's 20 meters.
20 meter casualty drag.
Yeah, 20 meter casualty drag. Yeah. So 170 pounds. Again, I saw some people do it that were like, I was like, holy crap, that dummy weighs twice as much as you, I swear. And they were still able to do it, right? And again, it's all your mental game, right? It's like, do you focus on your endurance? Do you...
Yeah, and that's the other thing is the force test is like an acclimation of all 4 of those events. So like you could be really bad at one thing,
Yeah.
and then just be an absolute stud at another thing, and it'll round off your score. So what you were just
Exactly.
saying of like,
Like I struggle
What do
with
you
the
wanna focus
sandbag,
on?
right?
Yeah.
Because I'm a light I'm a light guy, and
Yeah,
so
but
like,
I'm sure the shuttle run for you
everything
was no
else
problem.
was great,
Exactly.
and then I get to the sandbag and it kills my score. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna have a great score, but by the end of it, I got bronze because I
Yeah,
couldn't fucking
exactly.
pull the sandbag.
That was my best thing.
Was it
Yeah, I brought my
sandbag?
score
That was
up
my
a
worst,
lot.
man. I was.
And so yeah, that's the thing is like that's the force test. That is just the basic test. If you can't pass that, then A, you have a problem. B, you're not going to be in that platoon.
I think there was one person in our platoon that failed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many of yours, Marco?
We didn't have any failures,
No kidding.
except one guy that never kind of gave up because of an injury, but
Okay.
the injury wasn't really real.
All
So
mental.
that
It's
was
all
on
mental.
the force test.
That was on the force
And
test.
did he stay in the platoon and do everything else with you guys?
He ended up staying with us, yes,
He did all
but
the ruck marches. He did.
he did the ruck marches, but like he certain like the on the Warriors challenge as well, actually, and we get scored for it, right, against the other platoons,
Yeah.
and so because of him, we got a 0. One of our guys got a 0 and really ruined our score. Yeah,
So you guys
Julie?
could have got the commandant's flag.
maybe if we didn't get a 0 from that one guy. We were all talking about it, and we really wanted to win this thing, but never did.
Julia, did anyone fail in your platoon, eh? And
Yeah.
how was it for you? How was it for you?
The force test?
Yeah.
I thought the force test was pretty good. The shuttle runs, I was a little worried about, but
Did you
I passed
train?
first time.
Did you train prior to?
I didn't lift weights prior to, but I did run, which helped a lot. 'Cause
Oh, absolutely.
you're obviously doing a lot of running.
Up
in
and
basic.
downstairs.
Up and
Up
downstairs.
and downstairs.
Can we just talk about how when you go to fucking basic, I think everybody here can say that they've done this. You try to carry as many fucking bags as you can up
Yes.
the stairs at the same time.
Yeah,
so you have
yeah.
like one strap around your forehead, there's one strap
man.
around your neck, there's one strap on each fucking shoulder, and then you're like, I don't know, you got one around your ankle and you're trying to, I'm just kidding. You don't put one on your ankle.
Yeah,
but
no, but
I
y'all
definitely
feel,
get what you're saying.
That was,
Yeah.
that was a pet peeve of mine when like people would just see us like with 5, 6
So
bags.
much.
And they got one backpack, and
Or they
they're
would
like,
just be they'd be like on the first like little platform. They'd be like, oh, it's so much.
Kids Day was crazy.
Yeah.
what floor were you on, Julia?
I was on the 4th floor, so
Fourth
I
floor?
had it easy. How many floors
Wait,
were
green
there?
sector or blue sector?
I think there was 12 floors total, but like
nobody, I don't know anybody else that was above the 8th floor.
yeah, it
It was
was
like all
like, what were you?
offices.
What were you guys? You guys were.
I was on the 5th floor.
Yeah,
so
they
not
were. You
bad.
guys were right underneath.
Not
us.
bad.
Yeah.
We were all
Dude,
green
I walked
section?
into your guys' one time on accident, actually.
Were we
So-
all green section then?
Yes, green section.
Yeah.
Man, I remember because like I came back. It was on the weekend that I come back from the mess or drinking or whatever,
Yeah.
and I completely skipped my floor, and I go onto your guys' floor without realizing it, and I'm just walking through. I go through the door, go through, what was it? Do you guys have Romeo and Papa side as well?
No, we had
No, we're
Sierra,
Sierra Tango.
Romeo,
Yeah,
Tango.
we're
Sierra and Tango, so I walk into Tango side, and I'm just walking through, and I see some guy I don't know. I'm like, oh, I don't know this guy at all. I turn around, walk down, I'm like, yo, guys, wrong floor.
I feel like
Oh,
we're
man.
talking a lot about like all of the really great memories that we've made during basic. Obviously, there's a lot of amazing times that I'll never forget, and I made a lot of really good friendships. But like, what are some big struggles that you guys had? Because like, I feel like we haven't talked about it very much, but like me personally, in basic, the mental, like, getting yelled at every day, criticized for every single little thing that you do. I don't know, we didn't touch on this yet, right?
No,
Not really?
yeah.
Like, that really fucking beat me down after a little while. And it's just exhausting. Like, you wake up every single day so early. You go, you get criticized for every little thing that you do for 10 weeks straight. Nothing you do is good enough. Everything is wrong. Like, it's really hard mentally. Like, I really felt like a piece of shit. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to pass this. Like, every day I was so scared about getting recourse. Like, it was really stressful. Honestly, like, I cried in the shower at the end of a lot of my days. I would just go upstairs, get in the shower, and I would just cry. Because, like, I don't know. It was tough.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys thought,
So
but
how do you find you got over that? Like, how did you manage to still finish the course?
I wanted to fucking finish. Like, I wanted to be in the military, and I was dedicated and determined to fucking get through it.
Did you
But
have anyone that was like an outlet, like a padre, or was it
No.
someone back home?
No.
Was
Well,
it someone in the platoon?
A padre is almost like a therapist. piss for all intents and
He was
purposes.
the military therapist.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's a
easier.
lie. Well, I didn't have a padre, but like, you know, I would call my mom and dad or my friends.
Okay.
So they'd
Yeah,
be
no,
like, just keep
100%.
pushing, like it's only 10 weeks long. But I thought it was really tough. And like, I was tired.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
about you guys, but
Oh,
every
yeah.
single day I was exhausted. I
Falling
remember
asleep in class.
waking up so early. Like, it's so
You're up
physically
5:30,
demanding
some
every
days 4.
day. Yeah, like
Sometimes
4 o'clock,
4:30.
5:30
Just because you want to
every
get up
day.
because you know you have more stuff to do. Like if for example, like shit, I have to go to bed because I'm just drained, but I know that there's an inspection tomorrow. I'm getting up.
Those were tough days. Yeah,
I'm
you're
getting
up at 3:30
Yeah,
to start
I'm getting
cleaning.
up
Yeah.
at 3:30 and start cleaning, and the guy who's beside me is saying, "Yo, shut the fuck up! I'm trying to sleep." And I'm like, "Yo, it's either that or I fail my inspection and get a swipe." And
Yeah.
And
No, I'm trying to-
swipes. Did we talk about
no, we haven't
swipes?
No,
done
so-
swipes.
Did you guys struggle a lot with swipes?
I only
Or
had
do you
one
think
swipe.
You, do
I
you
had
think you breezed
one.
through them? Just one?
I had 2.
So this is my
I had
my
2.
talking point. Then.
We
This
won't
is
have to
my
talk
talking
about that.
point.
We will
So-
talk about that one.
So I got every swipe imaginable. When I was in Indoc, everything. Leaving the curtains open, swiped.
Wow.
Like, forget, I was a marker vest as well, so forget marker vest, swiped. Canteen, swiped. Unlocked, dummy locked, swiped. Like, anything you could think of, I was getting swiped for. I come out of Indoc, and within the first 2 weeks, I was at 3 swipes. So,
not horrible.
one of them was 2 swipes in a day. I can't completely remember that. I think it was just, again, I forgot something. And then week 7, I got 4 swipes in one day. An SI and a swipe.
SI, what's an SI?
Serious incident. So I left my bolt in my gun when I locked it up. And
Yikes,
then they found out at...
So why is that a serious incident? Why is leaving your bolt in a gun a serious incident?
Because it keeps the action in your rifle, which basically
Exactly.
means it's operational.
It's a
And
fully
you're
assembled
never
rifle.
supposed to leave your weapon operational when it's not
Exactly.
1 foot away from you.
The bolt part of the rifle is the most
Yeah.
important part of the rifle. It carries the bullet. So if you leave it in the gun, then you're basically leaving a completely assembled rifle. And there's what they told us was there's 3 main parts of the rifle. There's the main body, there's your bolt carrier, and then there's the bullet itself. And if you have 2 out of the 3, you basically, for all intents and purposes, have a mostly assembled gun, and
Yeah.
that is grounds for discipline.
Yeah,
or disciplinary measures.
to continue what I was saying, so
Shoot.
bolt left and gun, SI, I also disobeyed orders in that same day because when I left to go get my gun, I became the Corps senior and I had no idea. And they told them in the meeting no one's allowed to go to the Canex. Didn't know that. Come back, I go to the Canex, sergeant's waiting there for us. We talked to him like a normal conversation and then they pulled me in the next day. 4 swipes. I'm like, holy smokes. But like, I had the best morale on my platoon, so I got so many swipes. But like for the morale when we
They
were
liked you.
evaluated,
They liked
I
you.
was always excellent.
Nice.
Excellent morale, excellent. I yelled in the inspections,
Mhm.
and like even when I got like those 4 swipes, people would come out and just like be depressed, cry about it, get mad. I would just be like, "Yo, man." Yo, Nickerson, man, I just got 4 swipes, man. Like, what am I supposed to do? And he's just like, man, you're alright. I'm like, man, this is crazy, man. I'm like, am I going to get recourse? And then they're like, nah, no worries, man. And then ever since then, like, I was at like 6 swipes and I couldn't afford to get another one.
Right.
So for like 2.5 weeks, anytime I forgot something, really would pass me his. And then he would get swiped for me.
See, and that's the whole thing of like they really distilled it into us at St. John, like no
Yeah.
man left behind,
Yeah.
no man left behind, and we know about that really well because there was one guy in our platoon who
Everyone knew him.
shit pump doesn't even begin to explain it.
Like, nobody
Yeah.
believed in him.
Oh,
no,
really?
no
There
one,
was-
no one at the start
So
believed in him.
just to give you one example of why we say this guy is a piece of work, he showed up one day just ready to go for the work day with his uniform on backwards and inside out.
What the fuck?
How do you even
His boots were untied.
manage?
Oh, I don't
His
know.
socks were barely on.
belt
Never
was-
bloused.
His beret was barely right.
Yeah.
Like
You still
his
sleep.
threads
beret was off.
everywhere.
So this is what
Yeah.
I'm saying, right? Is it?
I-
There was this one thing that I like. He was looking like a bag of dicks. So there was like 7 of us all fixing him up, getting his beret. Everybody had like a different piece of article of clothing, just fixing him up. And our master bombardier turns the corner, looks at us, and he's like, "He's not fucking Iron Man. He could dress himself." But like it just looked like there was so many men looking after one person, but that's what happens. Like it's no man left behind. He was and he graduated.
But the best part about that guy was, even though his cubicle and his part of the platoon was a mess, what he always had was heart. More than half the people in the platoon. Yep. This guy wanted it, and you could tell he wanted it. He had a shitty hand dealt to him as he was a young lad. He was a very young lad. I think he was 19 or something like that.
Yeah.
He was a very young lad. Family problems, social problems, ex-girlfriend problems, drug problems. And what he ended up doing was, man, he always had his freaking head up. It was always taking constructive feedback without a problem, right? It didn't matter what you were saying to him. He always tried. And there was one day where I ended up assigning everybody these cleaning stations. And it was actually a very, very interesting incident what happened preceding these events. So I gave everyone these cleaning stations, put it all down, and everyone was like, yeah, fine, whatever, we got it. Right? So this is the Friday, and I think Saturday we had a mock inspection or something. And there was probably like half the platoon that actually did their cleaning stations. And he came to me like 3 or 4 times throughout the night. His cubicle was an absolute shitstorm. Like his stuff was all over the place. His bed wasn't made.
Tornado.
It was like a bull ran through that place, right? And he came over to me like 3 times that night, and he asked me, "What else do you want me to do? Can I help out cleaning out anymore? Can I help you do your job?" Right? And he kept on coming over to me and asking me, like he was my little brother, and I kept on trying to bring him back to his cubicle and be like, "Yeah, you can do something. Work on yourself, and that will help us out the most." Yeah. But all that he cared about was trying to be an essential part of the platoon, and he wanted to be one, but he couldn't get his mind wrapped around his own self-discipline. But it was never about the mindset. It was never about the discipline for him. It was all of the mindset that always blew my mind about this lad.
Mm-hmm. And that's why they really like me, right? High morale, lots of fuck ups.
Even if you fuck up, as long as you can take it on the chin and show that, like, okay, you know what, whatever.
Exactly.
But to get back on track, what did you guys struggle with? Like, what was the big thing that you really struggled with?
I don't know. Is there anything that you like?
Team cohesion.
I could not do my 45s on the bed. Ever.
100%. 100%.
The amount of times I tried my best. I would get a ruler, I'd get the coat hanger. Then my master corporal was like, "Cameron, c'est quoi ça? Like, what is this?" Like, he just rips it apart. Like, man, like, I tried so hard. I literally got like 2 other people to come see if this was alright. And it was just never good enough. Like, every day we had like little papers, like, as in like our inspections. Yeah, like, we had like little. And every day, it would always be bed. I'm like, come on. My room would be clean. Like, even sometimes there would be no dust, but it would still be my bed. I'm like, come on, man.
Man, I got the best inspection. When we did the warrant inspection, got the best one.
Did they always flip your bed? Like, did they just take your sheets?
When I came back from Farnham and my mattress was in someone else's cubicle.
Yes, we did that.
It was a week in the field. I was so excited to just jump in my bed, pass out. I go to my cubicle. My mattress isn't even there. I'm like, man, like I cannot deal with this right now.
No, within our section, whoever was like last to get back upstairs or whatever, we just like take their bed and throw it on top.
That's
of like their whole cubicle.
Why?
And then they'd come up and they'd be like, "Oh man," and we'd be like, "Man, Sergeant must have got you for your bed, man. You gotta do your 45s better." And we did that every day to someone, man. And like for a lot of it, like they never knew.
Unsecured kit.
Unsecured kit.
Oh, yeah. Unsecured kit. Who got busted? Who got busted for that?
Yeah, I got swiped for that. I got swiped for that.
That's one swipe.
Bro, I got in trouble for having 2 fucking Bibles in my drawer. They're like, you're only allowed to have 1 Bible. I was like, I literally took this Bible because the Padre, she was just so sweet. And nobody wanted to take the Bible. So I was like, come here, girl. I'll take the Bibles.
Yeah.
So I took them, put them in my drawer, and I got a fucking swipe for that.
Yeah,
swipe you for everything.
What were some of the biggest milestones during BMQ? So what were the main courses? So there was the field training portion. Actually, no, I'm going to go in chronological order. Forces test, and then we had what was week 3?
Drill test. Drill test was
Drill test was week 5.
Week
That was
5,
big,
'cause that's
though.
Hell Week technically.
What was week 3? I forget. First aid.
First
Right,
aid.
First aid.
First
Yeah.
aid. Open the mouth, checking the mouth.
Open mouth, check them out. Yeah.
Yeah.
How was first aid for you?
I'm not gonna lie.
It
If
was
somebody's told me, what do you do? Like, what are the steps?
Yeah, I do.
I'm so sorry.
Someone's
Get someone else. Get someone
Yeah,
else.
if
No,
I was
like,
asked to
so
recite
for
it-
me, I can actually help them, but I'm not gonna go the whole through.
Stop,
like,
stop,
through the whole
stop.
procedure.
Put on my gloves.
Stop. I'm
Like,
a trained this. Can I help you? Like, no. If the person's not fucked, I'm gonna help them. You know, like.
Of course.
Yeah, no, for
Excuse
sure.
me, can you go get me this and call 911 and get me? It's just like
It is
getting the
bro,
fucking shit.
yeah.
Like, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna.
Like, there's no procedure.
Yeah.
Are you
Um,
okay?
But yeah, other than
Yeah,
that,
so
it was kind of
it's like-
kind of boring. If you have any basic.
If
of,
you already
like,
went through
CPR,
first aid,
yeah.
then you'd fly through it.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
already got my lifeguarding, and so it was just
Baby
the
food.
same thing
Baby
but
food,
less.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it just-
So week 3 was first aid. Week 4 we got issued our rifles on the last day, I think.
Yes.
When did we do
Um,
the 3K?
The 3K I think was week 4 actually.
4.
Yeah.
So
So the
we do-
3K there's
Rock
3, a
side.
5, and an 8.
Yeah, we do 3 rock marches.
3
And you
kilometers,
just-
5
and you
kilometers,
just
and 8
rock around
kilometers.
the base.
Yeah,
basically.
you literally just walk around. I think it was what 35 pounds approximately. rucksack weight?
What was the weight?
No,
I think
no,
it was
45.
45.
We had a minimum requirement of 45.
Was it 45?
Yes, no, it was,
Yeah,
they
it
made
was.
sure we had a
'Cause
weight.
35 sounds super low.
That's what
No,
I
we
thought
had
too.
a-
But
they gave us a machine to
Yeah,
weigh everything,
yeah, yeah.
so we measured our rucksacks to
Yeah,
45.
45.
But like lots of our guys all did like 60.
Yeah, when I would.
yeah, you were infantry platoon though.
I did
We're
not.
a Navy
I'll tell you
platoon.
now, I wasn't doing 60.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of guys that did 60 on our platoon. But I was like, man, I'm gonna get it right to 45. I'm a marker. They're gonna make me run, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna hate it. So I'm not gonna.
Running
Yeah.
some rucksack.
So markers-
I felt
Marker.
so bad for those guys.
I
And
was
like-
a marker too.
Yeah, so
Oh.
Cameron, Petrucci, and I were all markers, or Drake, Marco, and I were all markers, and basically the markers are at the front and the end of the platoon as you're marching. And you, every time you're about to cross a road,
Yep.
the front two go out,
Mark
block
out.
the road,
Yeah.
markers out,
And what's
and
the
then the
reason
back
for
two,
markers?
and
Because if they get hit,
Yeah, so the,
At
the
least
first one to
some-
get shot.
yeah, and then the
You
back
step
two.
on a landmine.
And the problem was the
Yeah.
back two had to run from the back to the
Yes.
front
Yep,
of
like
the ruck.
And
of
you
the
never
routine.
want to
People
run
work
with
for
a
people.
ruck.
Exactly. You got
Never
45
wanna run.
pounds on your back that's tossing around side to side. You're trying to haul ass.
It's
You're
like an
sweating
awkward
buckets.
job.
You're hot. You're miserable. But
I
you're
was like, hurry up! I'm like, man, like you're
No,
walking,
but
I'm
you
running.
did.
Like you
I
don't
know.
have to say anything.
And like our sergeant taught us a different way to run with the rucksack.
It was like a
which was
little
handy. It
wobble,
was like a
yeah.
little hop with
It's-
your legs. And
it was so
and you gotta
awkward.
sway your hips.
yeah, you just like hop like just like a little.
You find
slow
little
run in
techniques
place.
that help you.
yeah. No, you
And
find
then,
you find little things to help
Going
you
into
out.
week 5 is technically
Yeah.
Hell Week, which you have how many tests? 5?
Yeah, you got your drill test. You got
Yeah.
the topography test.
Yeah. Rifle test.
Rifle test. Yeah, weapons handling test. I think there was
Yeah,
one or
those
two more.
There was like
I think the 5K was
the
that.
warrant inspection.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
that's
There's.
right.
Oh no, sorry, not the warrant. No, the IC.
Oh, that yeah.
Yes, the
yeah.
captain's inspection. So we had a
Gee,
captain
yeah.
was the in command of our platoon,
Yeah.
and he did an inspection that week, and that's the one that matters. That's the one that evaluates if everyone is ready for
And if you
a
pass
big
that
inspection.
warrants inspection, then everything kind of like for inspections kind of gets lighter after that.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
you fuck up on that, then you're getting inspections until you graduate.
Exactly.
We got inspections every day in our last week,
Yeah.
and like we even had a mirror switch. So
Really?
last week
That's
we all
so dumb.
on like the Thursday or Wednesday, they're like
Complete. take
it's
out
like
your whole
5
room and switch
o'clock,
with
6
someone
o'clock, and they're like, all right, everyone mirror switch rooms. You're all switching sides.
else. So you
And we did
basically
that
just
twice, 3
grab
times. throughout-
everything in your.
So yes,
fucking
we all
room.
grabbed everything, moved it to the other side, switched, and then we had inspection in the morning.
Damn. That's
And like week 4 or 5, we had platoon or section switch. So because our section was so bad,
yeah.
everyone's sections got switched. We all got different people, new fire team, and this is when I got my new fire team partner, which was a struggle. It was a struggle.
the least. To
And then week 6. When do you do war? Oh, and then the warrior challenge. That's the other
Warrior
Yeah.
challenge.
That's
Yeah,
week
yeah.
5.
Wow, was that week 6? That was right before
Yeah.
Farnham.
Were you guys throwing up during that warrior challenge?
So when we were
Negative.
when I was
No?
with these guys in 3-5. Yeah. Okay. So let me tell you
I was
guys.
throwing up in the middle of it.
How many of your people were throwing up?
A lot.
Right.
We had
everyone
like
threw
we had
up.
like
Nobody in 3-5.
we had like
Actually-
50 guys throw up and like
I
really
threw up in
pushing.
practice.
So we
first
yeah,
test.
because infantry man, it's
And,
the
like-
same thing with mine.
Yeah, all of our we only had infantry
Yeah.
instructors,
same as me,
and like man, they just be like,
they're just going hard.
Julia, how was the warrior challenge for you?
Uh,
Actually, you want to tell us what the warrior challenge was? Do you remember?
Isn't it basically like the force test?
So the first
Except
one
you had
was
your
like
FFO on, right? So like your
No,
no,
I think you're still
no.
legit.
Oh, the obstacle course.
Holy
That
shit,
was
yeah,
obstacle
the
course in week
obstacle
5. Yes, there's an obstacle course, and the thing with the obstacle course is it's not about being fast going through it. It's about being able to go through it as a team
Yes.
in a respectable time.
That 6 foot wall. And that
There
one
was
girl.
some of the hardest obstacles in there. There was a 6 foot wall. There's a vertical wall. If you failed twice or 3 times, then one of your section mates was able to help you over the wall.
Yeah.
There was big ass cargo nets and the rope that you had to go along. I think it was probably a 1.5 2 inch diameter rope,
Bro,
and you
that
had to.
hurt.
Yeah, that hurt the balls.
Oh, the
if
climbers.
you're-
Oh, yeah.
I was so good at that. I was so good at
I'm
that.
sure you were.
That was my favorite one.
It's
There's
basically
also,
like a tightrope laying down.
My
monkey
flew past
bars.
that thing.
Yeah, monkey
going
bars.
through the tunnel.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the best, one of my favorite, is the one where you go across like that.
The ramp and you gotta yell.
You gotta
yeah,
yell.
and you
yeah,
have to
yeah.
yell.
I did not.
Yeah.
That was
Again,
awesome.
you can anyone who's listening, you can find that information about the obstacle course, or like there's videos on YouTube that run you through the basics of the obstacle course, and they can sort of prepare you, so you got an idea of what the obstacle course looks like. But the Warrior Challenge, the first one was a what's it called?
The pylon.
Yeah,
With the tennis ball.
what's it called? The fucking
You play soccer. That's more of a soccer drill.
agility test.
Yeah.
Agility test. So you're weaving in and out. You're jumping over things. You're going in over and under. The second one was was it 500-pound sled push or 400-pound sled push? You're only going
For the girls, there was like 3 something.
yeah. For the girls, it was a little bit less, but you're basically 14 meters or something. And
It's just a
I think
sled
it's
push.
like it's a lot of weight and it's very intimidating. But I swear to God, it was all mental. Like
Yeah.
as
Once
soon
you
as
get it going,
exactly.
it's like butter.
As soon as that thing starts sliding, it's like it's no one's business.
Yeah.
The third one was that one. I fucked that one. That was hard, bro.
The
that
last
was
one I threw up after.
100%.
With the
I can
pole,
see
right?
that.
The
Yeah,
pole
yeah, yeah.
Oh, that was
So yeah,
hard.
so what you had to do was what was it? You had to you had to drag.
Drag the dummy.
I think it was only 70 pounds or 80 pounds. It wasn't as
Yeah,
bad
you
as
drag
the
the dummy
casualty
the
drag,
entire length of the gym,
which was about 40 meters, 35
Yeah.
meters,
Yeah.
40 meters.
and then you unclip the thing, and you clip another thing on, and you run to the middle of the gym, which is attached to a rope, and you pull
Yeah,
and
that,
you
and
pull the 70 or 80 pound dummy
which makes
20
it
meters.
feel like 200 pounds.
And I had that warrant in my ear the whole time,
Yeah.
yelling at me, "Work for your fucking cheeseburger!" Like, and I was just like, pulling, I'm putting
and then once you
everything.
get that dummy into a certain box, which is right in front of you,
Yeah.
you unclip the hook, like
Is
the
it
rope,
straps?
and then you put the straps.
Yeah, then you
over,
put
and
on straps.
Take the body. The
Yeah.
entire
Exactly.
rest
Yeah.
of
Then you just drag them the last little bit, and then the last part of that Warrior Challenge was the fucking shuttles.
Yeah.
You
Those
had
were-
5 sandbags. Again, they're all 30-pound sandbags. They're all in a pile on one end of the gym, and you gotta shuttle them all over. You can run with it, so you don't have to walk.
Yeah.
But you gotta run, bring all those 5 bags one at a time to one end, and then you gotta bring them all back.
And they all
I
need to be
like that
stacked
one.
up.
So like I threw up
Exactly.
after my
And
tug,
and
I
it
come
seems
back.
like such a simple thing to like, okay, pick up a sandbag, walk 40 meters,
Yeah.
put it down, pick up another sandbag, walk, but like, it gets you at the end.
That was
Oh yeah,
hard.
no, that one burned. That one did burn, 100%.
So,
yeah.
Julia,
My opinion on
the Warrior Challenge. You did the exact same test as us, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And you had no one throw up in your platoon?
Man, I was just concentrating on finishing this shit. I don't know. I didn't throw
Fair.
up, but like
It was
I
a tough
remember-
fucking test.
Oh, it was tough.
Yeah.
Tough fucking test.
At the end, I felt pretty proud. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh,
I
yeah.
just finished
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely,
that was
no.
hard.
What did you guys eat right before? Because they gave us poutine.
Probably nothing because we had
We
1
had
minute to
poutine.
eat.
Yeah,
So
probably
there-
not.
Oh, so
Our
like
whole
the pizza
instructors are
sandwiches.
like,
Just
"Be
something
careful what you
gross,
eat."
man.
I thought we were pizza.
There's a pizza sandwiches.
Oh yeah, I thought it was some
Something
sort
just
of pizza or
not
some
good
shit.
to be eating right before.
No, we had
They
something
literally said,
super
like, watch
heavy.
out, don't eat lighten.
I stuffed my face.
Yeah,
dude. I was
it's
like,
like,
fuck this.
we have pizza subs. Who wants pizza subs? Literally, everybody got one.
Stuffed our
Everybody
face.
got
Just
pizza
completely
Do
subs.
the Warriors
Wow.
challenge.
Yeah, they look
Throw
so
up.
good. Like you're like, yeah, I'm not gonna eat that much. Then you look at it, and you're like, well, shit.
I remember Master Bombardier was like, so how many of you guys have the pizza sub? And,
Half of us put up our hands and like, well, you're throwing up. Yeah.
So like that's the thing, but like with the Warrior Challenge, the difference between 3-5 and my new platoon 1-8 was like nobody threw up in 3-5. In 1-8, there was about 16 people, including my Master Bombardier.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. I don't.
Yeah.
Why? Though?
Like guys were just going balls to the wall, man.
Yeah,
they were
man,
just
we were-
infantry. So there's one guy who's just like,
Yeah.
like let's say everyone was just trying to compete with you. everybody was just like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
if one person does it, then everybody got to fucking. It's just like me and Hughes are just there, fucking big old
Dude,
buddy.
no, I
And
love that
we're
guy.
just like,
Love
yo,
that guy.
fuck this shit.
Everyone was so competitive on that
Yeah, and
platoon.
we're like, yo, we're just
Super
trying to get here
competitive.
to survive. This is the second time I'm doing the Warrior Challenge,
Yeah.
so I don't need to.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with when I got recourse, I had to do a couple things over again. So I had to do the 8K twice. I had to do the Warrior Challenge twice.
Right.
So
I had to redo a whole bunch of tests.
when we went to the field,
Yeah, I was about to start bringing
I
up Farnham.
love the
the
field.
field
Gardner, how was it?
For me, you guys all know what the fuck I'm about to say.
As a woman
So-
in the military.
As a woman in the military, okay, first of all, before the woman subject, there's this one day, we were in trouble all day, man. So I was scared to ask to go pee. I was really scared. I didn't want to talk to my staff and be like, hey, like, can I use the washroom, please, Master Corporal? I didn't want to. So I held my pee all day. And then, you know, the sun went down. At this point, we were setting up our hoochies, which is like a little tent. It's not even...
It's literally
it's
a
like
tarp suspended between two trees.
Yeah, literally.
That's it. That's all hoochies, and that's what you sleep in.
So it was dark. You're not allowed to use a light. You have to do this in the dark. If you use a light, you'll get in trouble. So at this point, I was like sitting on the ground just trying to get this fucking hoochie set up because like we had 10 minutes. If they weren't all up, we were gonna get in shit. But I had to pee so dang bad. I had to pee so bad, and I was like, okay, either I can just piss in my pants here and finish setting up my hoochie and I won't get in trouble. Or I can go ask to use the washroom and possibly get yelled at. So my bladder basically fucking broke open. I pissed my pants. I had to wait a couple hours before I could actually go inside of my hoochie and like change my clothes.
Oh, yeah.
That sucked. But on another point, the day of the obstacle course in the field, I did start my period. So, yeah, my pants were dirty as fuck. I had, like, blood almost down to my knees. I remember telling all the boys before they seen it for themselves, I was like, this is what you get, guys. If you see any blood on the obstacle course objects, it's me. I'm sorry. You get what you get.
Yeah. But yeah, so next episode we'll start talking about Farnham and then, you know, how we've progressed from then on.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely start bringing up how we've changed since BMQ. Because it's definitely, we've all come a long, long way and we don't even realize it. Like, we've just been completely immersed in the military culture since then.
Yeah.
And we definitely all got a lot of things going on and we're definitely going to keep this one rolling. But for today, that's pretty well all we got for you guys. Thanks everyone for tuning in and enjoy the rest of your day.
That was fun.
Toodles.
Peace.